Well, we told you earlier in the debate about the NET News Voter Voices election project, which asked citizens across the state to go to a participating library and record a video with their comments on the issues and questions for the Senate candidates. You can still record a video with your opinions and send it to us. The details are at netnebraska.org/votervoices. You can also tune in for a 1-hour Voter Voices special on NET television on Friday, October 19th at 7 p.m. Central, as these same two candidates will answer more questions from Nebraskans. We have one more Voter Voices question in this debate. It comes from Phillip Gullikson of Winnebago, a law student and a staff member at Little Priest Tribal College.
There isn't a lot of discussion at the national level from our elected leadership about environmental issues. Push for oil, to extract oil from our lands, this country's land, and the other issue would be at the global warming.
So, Senator Fischer, we're talking about environmental issues, we're talking about extracting oil from the land, and climate change.
Okay, thank you. I have an energy plan. I've had it out for over a year now. And that energy plan is all of the above. We realize that we have an abundance of natural resources here in our state and here in our country. And I believe that they need to be managed, and they need to be managed responsibly. We need to drill for oil. We need to drill for oil on federal lands, offshore. We need to look at oil shale. We need to look at clean coal. The United States has a huge amount of coal. And here in Nebraska, we understand the importance of those coal-fired electric plants because that helps us to keep our energy rates, our electric rates, low for consumers, but low for businesses as well. Governor Heineman can tell you when he talks to businesses and trying to attract them to our state, those electric costs have a big part to play in that, to attract those businesses to come here. So we need to consider that. We need to look at renewables. We need to look at wind. We need to look at solar. We have ethanol, which is a great boon for this state. But you have to have a balanced portfolio in order to move forward. With regards to climate change, what matters there is the policies that the United States is going to implement to address the climate change. What we have seen from the government in the past is cap and trade, and I don't support cap and trade.
Thank you, Senator Fischer. Senator Kerrey.
Well, I mean, I hate to say this, but one of the reasons we have low-cost power, Senator Fischer, is that when it comes to electricity, we own the means of production. It's public power. And that's why our rates are low. So I appreciate that you don't like government and you think government should get out of everything, but it's because the government's involved that we have low-cost power. That's a fact. That is undeniably true. Now, I'm not suggesting that we nationalize the oil companies. I tend to agree with you that we need to do all of the above. On the other hand, again, in the Grand Island debate, the question occurred, are human beings warming the planet? And you answered no. I do not think you can solve any problem unless you begin by saying there's a problem. And I know that people don't want to change. I know that they're concerned about the cost. But we grow our food outside. And no state is more vulnerable to adverse impacts on weather than Nebraska. We're at 380 parts per million now. And we're heading up. And it's not like taking a piece of trash and throwing it on the ground. Somebody can come and pick it up afterwards. It's not like putting tetraethyl lead in our gasoline and hurting brains for 60 years in our children. It's not like a number of other things that we're doing. You get to 500 or 600 parts per million, it takes 1,500 years to reverse it. Now, among the things that we all as politicians do is talk about our children and our grandchildren. If we don't do something about this problem, and I don't disagree about cap and trade. I think there's better ways to do it. But if we don't identify it as a problem and then bring our ingenuity and our innovation to try to solve the problem, don't count 40 years from now our grandchildren looking back and thanking us, because they're not going to. They're going to ask the question, what were you guys thinking? Why didn't you acknowledge that what the scientists are telling you, that this is a problem, and why didn't you use your considerable talent to solve it?
Thank you, Senator Kerrey. Senator Fischer, 30 seconds.
Thank you. The climate changes. But again, it's our reaction to that with policy. That's what a United States Senator addresses. Cap and trade is not the policy that this country should be implementing. Cap and trade would be a $1,700 tax on American families. And that number, by the way, comes directly from the Obama administration.
Senator Kerrey, 30 seconds.
Well, let's stipulate we're not going to do cap and trade. But that's not the issue before us today. Senator Fischer says human beings are not warming the planet. And I say we are. I say it's a clear and compelling problem, and we need to address it. And we need to have a debate about how we're going to address it and what our strategy is going to be. Again, otherwise, this is going to be a problem that's going to overwhelm us, and we're going to wonder why in God's name we didn't do anything about it.